Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a class given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj in the year 2005 in Sridham, Mayapur, India. The morning Srimad Bhagavatam class was given during the Gorpanim festival and contains vintage video from the year 1996, which was Srila Prabhupada's centennial year.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Officiated at the post of Yamaraja to punish those who committed sinful acts. Purport: Vidura, born in the womb of a Sudra woman, was forbidden even to be a party of royal heritage, along with his brothers Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Then how could he occupy the post of a preacher to instruct such learned kings and Kshatriyas as Dhritarashtra and Maharaj Yudhisthira? The first answer is that even though it is accepted that he was a Sudra by birth, because he renounced the world for spiritual enlightenment by the authority of Rishi Maitreya, and was thoroughly educated by him in transcendental knowledge, he was quite confident to occupy the post of an acharya, or spiritual preceptor. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anyone who is conversant in the transcendental knowledge or the science of Godhead, be he a Brahmana or a Sudra, a householder or a sannyasi, is eligible to become a spiritual master. Even in the ordinary moral codes maintained by Chanakya Pandit, the great politician and moralist, there is no harm in taking lessons from a person who may be by birth less than a Sudra. This is one part of the answer. The other is that Vidura was not actually a Sudra. He was to play the part of a so-called Sudra for 100 years, being cursed by Manduka Muni. He was the incarnation of Yamaraj, one of the 12 Mahajanas, on the level with such exalted personalities as Brahma, Narad, Shiva, Kapila, Bhishma, Prahlad, etc. Being a Mahajan, it is the duty of Yamaraj to preach the cult of devotion to the people of the world, as Narada, Brahma, and other Mahajanas do. But Yamaraj is always busy in his Plutonic kingdom, punishing the doers of sinful acts. Yamaraj is deputed by the Lord to a particular planet, some hundreds of thousands of miles away from the planet of Earth, to take away the corrupt souls after death and convict them in accordance with their respective sinful activities. Thus Yamaraj has very little time to take leave from his responsible office of punishing the wrongdoers. There are more wrongdoers than righteous men. Therefore Yamaraj has to do more work than the other demigods, who are also authorized agents of the Supreme Lord. But he wanted to preach the glories of the Lord, and therefore by the will of the Lord he was cursed by Manduka Muni to come into the world in the incarnation of Vidura and work very hard as a great devotee. Such a devotee is neither a Sudra nor a Brahmana. He is transcendental to such divisions of mundane society. Just as the personality of Godhead assumes his incarnation as a hog, but he is neither a hog nor a Brahma. He is above all mundane creatures. The Lord and his different authorized devotees sometimes have to play the role of many lower creatures to claim the conditioned souls. But both the Lord and his pure devotees are always in the transcendental position. When Yamaraj thus incarnated himself as Vidura, his post was officiated by Aryama, one of the many sons of Kasyapa and Aditi. The Adityas are sons of Aditi, and there are 12 Adityas. Aryama is one of the 12 Adityas, and therefore it was quite possible for him to take charge of the office of Yamaraj during his 100 years absence in the form of Vidura. The conclusion is that Vidura was never a Sudra, but was greater than the purest type of Brahmana. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Swami translation purport to the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 13th chapter, 15th verse, in the matter of Dhritarashtra quits home. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantha Raj Ki. So this is very inspirational verse. In Krishna's pastimes there are many participants. Some of them are coming from the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan, where they are eternally residing, but just to participate in the Lord's pastime, they come down to the material world. They may take birth in different families. They're obviously not conditioned souls, even though they may play the part of one, play that part as an actor. Then you also have celestial beings from higher planets within the material world, known as devas or demigods, or in the Christian semantics they call them angels. We got different kinds of angels, material angels and spiritual angels. So what do you have? Just like in India, there's so many different names for every relation. We have different names for every level of angel. So the demigods are angelic people. So Yamaraj is such an angel, demigod who came down. It's very interesting what Prabhupada says here. Normally, some of the devas get a chance to preach the glories of Krishna. But Yamaraj, he doesn't get vacation. Prabhupada used the word, doesn't get vacation. Everybody working. How many of you are on vacation? How many are normally working and you took leave to come here? Okay, see? So like that, Yamaraj is holding a very important post. He has to find a replacement when he goes. He has to get leave of absence. So he has to organize all those things. Saryama was his replacement. So for him, this is a great opportunity. Now he doesn't have to be judging all the people for their sins. He can just preach to liberate people. And especially he's focusing on his blind brother. But everybody's hearing the preaching. He's giving regular preaching for everyone. See, Yamaraj also likes to come down and preach. I was thinking that because we know that when Lord Chaitanya was in the womb of his mother, many of the devas prayed and they wanted to participate. And in Krishna's pastime, many have prayed they wanted to participate in the Lord's pastimes. So actually many celestial beings have incarnated in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, according to Gaur Ganadesha Deepika. You have Brihaspati, the guru of the devas. He came as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You have Kalakanta Devi and Sukanta Devi, the two Gandharva dancers, appeared in Chaitanya Leela. They were in Rajabhumi dancing, and then they came in Chaitanya pastime as Ramananda Vasu and Satyaraja. It says that Damodar Pandit, he was combined hot-tempered Saibya Gopi of Raja Leela as well as the goddess Saraswati. See, the gopis, a lot of the female players in Raja Leela, they come as male players in Gaur Leela. The Damodar, he was very intelligent, very great pandit for deciding things. At the same time, he had a hot temper. Kuber, king of the treasurer of the demigods, king of the Guryakas, he appeared in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as Kuber Pandit, the father of Lord Advaita. Now some people question, how do they figure out who's who? So here it explains that formerly Kuber, who was very dear to Lord Shiva, he was chanting the transcendental names dedicated to Lord Shiva. And Shiva asked him to ask for a benediction. He said, it's my desire to give you blessings, a gift, a boon. So Kuber said, okay, my Lord, please become my son. So being requested, Lord Sadashiva, master of the devas, best of the philanthropists, told Kuber, during my next birth in the material world, I shall accept the position of being your son. So therefore, because Lord Advaita is Mahavishnu as well as Sadashiva combined, the Kuber became the father of Advaita Acharya. So some things are written, different Puranas, Chaitanya Bhagavat, so those are all collected. Different devotees studied the characters of the people and could analyze who they were like. Somehow they figured it out. Or if there was two opinions, they put both opinions. Narad Muni was Shiva's, and Ram Pandit was Parvata Muni. Kasinath, Lokanath, Srinath, and Ramnath were the four Kumars, the cherub devas who always remain young. Chandrasekhar Acharya was the incarnation of Chandradev, the moon god. Like there's so many. So actually Lord Chaitanya's moon was filled with celestial beings. And remember once Srila Prabhupada said that in his movement, in his society, so many persons have come, even from the celestial planets. Now, I don't expect any of you to own up to which planet you really come from. But I'm sure that many of you are hearing some of the pastimes and some of the revelations that are going on about Srila Prabhupada from these different devotees. You can understand that they're definitely not from this world. Their realizations and their experiences show that they are out of this world. Srila Prabhupada ki, Prabhupada's Parshads ki. So we have, like it goes on and on with so many different celestial beings who came down for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. Of course, Thakur Haridas is Lord Brahma. But one person was conspicuous by his absence, and that was Yamaraj. Because he only got, last yuga he got vacation. This yuga he didn't get vacation. He had to stay on the work. But it said sometimes he would sneak over and watch Lord Chaitanya. Apparently he has 14 assistants and then they can take turns, but he has to stay on top of the whole thing. So when Jagai Madai, how many of you saw the drama Jagai Madai? Probably heard about that story a few times. When Jagai Madai were delivered, so Yamaraj came to watch it. He was watching the Jagai Madai deliverance. And then he went back to Yamalok. And he asked Chitragupta, I just saw these two Brahma Rakshasas, these two Brahmana demons, delivered by Lord Gauranga. Jagai Madai, how much karma did they have? And Chitragupta was head accountant for Yamaraj. He said if we put 100,000 very expert writers, kayastas, writing for 1 year, they couldn't finish. So if we pile up the account of how much sin they did, it will become a mountain. But somehow, Lord Chaitanya's mercy flooded even the mountain of Jagai Madai's sins. So when Yamaraj heard that, he became so ecstatic that how merciful is Lord Chaitanya. Because all the sin was wiped out. He said, glories to Gauranga. And glories to Jagai Madai. They surrendered. And he got so overwhelmed in ecstasy that he felt unconscious. So all the assistants, the Chitraguptas and all the other staff over there, the Yamaguptas, they were trying to fan, trying to wake up Yamaraj. Somehow cases were jamming up. So the other devas started to realize something's going wrong in Yamaloka. The different devas appeared there. And so Lord Shiva came and he asked, what happened? What's wrong with Yamaraj? They told him what happened. Immediately he knew he's in ecstasy. So he went over and started chanting in Yamaraj's ear, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Then soon as he heard the holy name, Yamaraj got up and started to dance in ecstasy. The Devas, and they said, how merciful is Lord Gauranga. He wipes away all the sins of the sinful people. And then everyone started to do a big kirtan there. Whoever the Devas that weren't here with Lord Chaitanya up there, they were having a big kirtan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Indra was dancing, he got so ecstatic that where his thunderbolt went, where did all his astras and weapons go? They were flown, and he was rolling on the ground, Gora, Gora! So Ganesh was dancing. Kartikeya, the Shiva was dancing, hugging I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyway, so they're all there having a big kirtan. Or maybe this is another kirtan. But anyway, this huge kirtan. And it describes so many devas when they're all dancing and having this kirtan. It's about remembering that how all the devas are devotees of the Lord and they were all appreciating Lord Chaitanya. We get also a very special blessing. Whenever I remember this pastime, I just think Prabhupada established like Rath Yatra Festival, where you take right Jagannath, big kirtan, right down the main streets of so many major cities of the world, London, New York, Paris, Bangladesh, 100 cities around the world, I'm not going to name them all. And I'm just thinking what this is doing to the karma of so many people. We're putting, they're probably running short of whiteout. Yamaloka. For one Rath Yatra. So many people are watching. Oh, beautiful. Oh, Hare Krishna. Sometime a lady walked up and said, this is so wonderful what you're doing. It was in the Toronto Rath Yatra, another major city of the world. Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Sydney, Byron Bay. Anyway, around the world, so many, there's Durban and Johannesburg, so many Rath Yatras, Nairobi, all over the world. Even Lima, Peru, Buenos Aires, Rio, Sao Paulo. This is having revolution on the karma of the people. And I was thinking, like Prabhupada, he was so dynamic in his preaching. But he had a very high expectation for all of us. In Prabhupada's arrival at 1976, in his address to all the assembled devotees, he mentioned, it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's aspiration that the Europeans, Americans, and Indians all together dance jubilantly and chant, Gaura Hari! Gaura Hari! Gaura Hari! So this temple, Mayapur Chandrodaya temple, is meant for a transcendental United Nations. What the United Nations has failed to achieve, that will be achieved here. But the process recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prativiti Achi Jatu Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Vaivimornam. So you have to come from all parts of the world and are living together in this temple. So you have come from all parts of the world and are living together in this temple. So train these small boys. I'm very glad especially to see the small children from all other countries, Indians, Bengalis, all together, forgetting their bodily consciousness. That is the greatest achievement in this movement, that everyone forgets the bodily conception of life. Nobody thinks themselves here as European, American, Indian, Hindu, Muslim, Christian. They forget all these designations and simply they are ecstatic and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So kindly, what you have begun, do not break it. Continue it very jubilantly. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the master of Mayapur, he will be very much pleased upon you, and ultimately you will go back to home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much. So all of you, by coming here to Mayapur, you're fulfilling Srila Prabhupada's desires. You're also pleasing the previous acharyas. That was Prabhupada's advice to us, that the secret of success is to please the previous acharyas. So our previous acharyas wanted us to develop Mayapur, to do Mayapur Navadip Parikrama, to publish books, distribute books, to preach Namhat. And like this, that everybody in the world can also come and serve Mayapur Dham and get the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These kind of desires were very dear to our previous acharyas. Today is the disappearance day of Jagannath Das Babaji. He was a great Mahabhagavat. He was known in Vrindavan as a Siddha, as a liberated soul, perfected soul. Sometimes he would take a vow, and for 3 days and night without stopping, he would just chant his rounds and chant a huge number of rounds. At the end of 3 days and nights of non-stop chanting loudly in ecstasy, then he would break his fast with a little yogurt and flat rice. Somehow Prabhupada picked me up out of that society lower than Lecha and engaged me in Krishna service. So many people Prabhupada picked up. And then Prabhupada Just as here it says, whatever one may be, Kiba Lipra, Kiba Nancy, Sutra Kaninoi, Jai Krishna Veta Takta, Say Guru Roy, Lord Chaitanya, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're a Brahmin or a sannyasi, or whether you're a Sudra, whatever it may be. In that regard, as Prabhupada, he said, whether you're grihastas or whatever you may be, everybody should take up. Here's the mic. I want to get some quotes from Prabhupada speaking in Mayapur. This is during Gaur Purnima festival, March 16, 1976. Amaragi Guru Hoya Charo Desh Jali Dako Taleko Krishna Poder CC Madhya 7.128. Prabhupada, anywhere, either you are in this district or that district, it doesn't matter. Either you are at home or outside home, it doesn't matter. You become a guru. Everyone, how shall I become guru? I have no qualification. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you don't require any qualification. You simply require one qualification, that you repeat the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. That's all. Janida kota deko Krishna upodesh. That's all. You become a guru. Don't adulterate Krishna upodesh like a rascal or nonsense. Present it as it is. Bhagavad Gita. Then you become a guru. You can become a guru in your family, you can guru your society, your nation, wherever you are. And if it is possible, you go outside and preach this mission of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore our movement's name is Krishna Consciousness. Wherever Krishna says, whatever Krishna says, you accept and preach. You become guru. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So we have many preachers here, many Prabhupada direct disciples, many Prabhupada followers, Siksha disciples, grand disciples. Especially for our senior devotees, sometimes we find that we get so many new devotees who are taking up so much responsibility in preaching. And we need to encourage all our devotees, even many people may be in their temples, but then they take Grihastha ashram, they go into their home. Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter, be a guru in your home. We divided, as the congregational minister, we are always trying to create better systems of congregational preaching, promote. We have our Namaharta, the generic kind of, all kinds of house programs, regular programs, that Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Lord Nityananda started. We don't know all the different kinds of meeting, but at one place, Lord Chaitanya said, 5-10 of you get together, clap your hands, chant in your doorsteps. So that inspired us for the Bhakti Riksha program, small groups, where one doesn't have to be very qualified. They can be a facilitator and facilitate the meetings. But now we have from the Chopati, they have started the counselor groups where people are more senior devotees who are counselors for the younger devotees. So different kinds of programs. But almost anyone, like Churi Prabhu from Laguna Beach, he's got some Bhakti Riksha groups, different Prabhupada, one lady disciples here, she told me she has a Namhat in her home. And everybody, even if you're not living in a temple anymore, if you can have some kind of a Namhat program or house program from your home, be a guru for right? At least the people that you're in association with. I think this will double our movement every year very quickly and keep everybody in the fire. One doesn't have, you see here in Mayapur, we have so many brahmacharis, but a certain percentage of them get married. It's natural, right? Not so many as maybe other places, but a certain percentage get married. When they go home, we insist they have to, if they go home, if they don't stay serving here, insist they have to be part of the Namhat. So they go home and they spread even 25 Namhat groups in a few years. So somehow we can have the system. Some of our devotees were in a temple, now maybe they're in the home unit, that they should also be preaching. Everybody should keep on preaching. This is a preaching movement. That's all we're meant for. Grihe Thakur, Bole Thakur, Sada Hari Bole Thakur, right? Whether we're in the house or whether we're in the ashram, preach, preach, preach. Whether distributing books or following up after the book distribution and cultivating the people who got the books, training them, Prabhupada said, we distribute so many books, we need to train the people so they become devotees. So all of you senior devotees that are here, you all have so much knowledge. We're all listening to the nectar. You have got it. Give it. Just like Lord Chaitanya, they gave the mercy. Don't keep it to yourself. We're so grateful you're here giving it to us. And we want you to keep on giving it to whoever you meet. Charidako, Tariko, Kishtu Pradesh. Everyone you meet, just keep on telling them how wonderful Prabhupada is. How wonderful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is. That's the only qualification. Even if we're lower than a Sudra or lower than a Lech or whatever, but if we can repeat whatever we heard from Prabhupada and Krishna, that is our qualification. Our only qualification. We don't need any other qualification. And Prabhupada, I was reading he was preaching so heavy, man. It's amazing some of the things he says. The visible effect of this chanting is that the members of the Hare Krishna movement, regardless of their backgrounds, all give up the four principles of sinful life and come to an elevated standard of devotion. Although past posing as great scholars, ascetics, householders, and swamis, the so-called followers of the Hindu religion are all useless. Dried up branches of the Vedic religion. They are important. They cannot do anything to spread the Vedic culture for the benefit of human society. The essence of the Vedic culture is the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya instructed, Chare Dako Tade Ko Kishtu Upadesh Amarat Ki Guru Bhaya Chado Ek Desh. So Prabhupada, he doesn't want us to become dried up twigs either. We have to keep on telling whatever. Even I'm not qualified, I'm not able, but I have to tell you, I learned something from the greatest spiritual master that was here in the modern era. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. And I want to tell you that. Even I'm not able to follow fully whatever I'm able to follow, to whatever extent I've understood, it is the most amazing thing. It is the most wonderful message. Prabhupada also said, Shari Lila, one should simply instruct everyone he meets regarding the principles of Krishna Katha, as expressed in Bhagavad Gita as it is in Srimad Bhagavatam. One who has no interest in Krishna Katha or the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like dry, useless wood with no living force. The ISKCON branch being directly watered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is becoming undoubtedly successful, whereas the disconnected branches of the so-called Hindu religion that are envious of ISKCON are drying out and dying. Adila 1274. We can revitalize the Hindu religion by just getting all the Hindus to also glorify Krishna. That's the secret. Anybody, whatever religion they're from, whatever, if they glorify the Supreme Personality of God, and if they do Krishna Kirtan, then they will get the mercy. I wanted to say how my very dear God brother, Tamal Krishna Goswami, he was always glorifying Krishna in so many different ways, whether it was here in Mayapur, or whether it was in Radha Damodar party, or whether it was in China, or Philippines, or Dallas, or wherever. He was always thinking of ways. Sometimes, he had different ideas. Some worked out really good, some didn't, but that's what happens in preaching. You try different things. But he was always innovating, always thinking of new ways how to spread Krishna consciousness. He was the first one to come up with the idea, I think. I may be wrong, who was first or second, but anyway, he was one of the first, if not the first, to come up with the idea of creating a temple community. Buying the whole city block around the Dallas temple and putting grihastas there. Now we have a few communities where devotees having houses around the temple in Alachua, in Nuchalabon, and I haven't been to Gitanagri for US, so I don't know, but maybe there too. I don't know where else. It's like we heard in Karanagati, in Canada, different places, and move over that. But he had that vision first. I think at least one of the first, anyway, to put it into practice. So he was we really need also all his followers and all those are his brothers and sisters and followers. We should all be inspired by his determination to preach. I think for us, for me, it was a personally great loss. And for all of us, that we were expecting him to do a lot more preaching now that he had got his PhD. But at least to the last thing he did was really get us all to do a lot of kirtans. There's an interesting pastime they tell in Ramuna, where his ashram was. And there was a yogi, some tantric yogi who had learned how to fly on the back of a branch. This would cut down a lot the cost of devotees coming here if we knew this system. We couldn't bring much luggage with them though. But anyway, I'm not promoting that we had to learn that, but if you see anybody flying in on a branch, we'll know. So the villagers all came over to tell Rasikananda, Gurudev, you should see, there's a yogi in the village, he's flying. He's on a branch, he's flying. That time was early in the morning and Rasikananda was brushing his teeth with a neem twig. You know how, I don't know if you have a problem, used to love neem twigs to brush his teeth. You get a neem twig about this big, you chew and chew on the end. The juice is very bitter and very good for your whole tract and everything, the digestion and the motions and whatnot. We don't be too graphic here, but anyway. Then you brush your teeth with that brush at the end of the twig. He said, that's not important. This thing's not important. Another group came, Gurudev, see the guy's flying. He's flying all around the village on a branch. It's not important. Then a third group came, this time, Gurudev, he's flying. I never saw a man fly, he's flying. So like Rasikananda, I told you it's not important. If it was important, I would have told you about it. He took his twig out from his mouth, put it under his leg, and he started flying around the ashram. I told you it wasn't important. It's not important. Krishna Bhakti is important. He flew back down.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.